Is your plugin database chaotic? This is how you fix it. Having a few to many third-party plugins in the future is inevitable. It can get cluttered, especially if you have much in your arsenal. To fix it, navigate to the plugin database folder and hit open. The same procedure is applied to effects and generator, but for this demonstration, I will do effects. There are a few ways to get this done. You can move the new plugins to some existing folder according to their type or create a new folder. How you want it done is entirely up to you. In my case, I want to organize them by their manufacturer's name. All these changes will reflect inside FL Studio. Another thing that I would do personally is to change the view from category to tree so that I won't need to see all the plugins simultaneously. Follow us for more. Here are some tips to reduce latency in FL Studio 21. Latency can be very frustrating, especially if you're recording MIDI and audio, as it can disrupt your timing to a certain extent. However, there are some steps to minimize latency in your session. Terminate any unnecessary program or processes running in the background. Disable any power-saving features and enable high performance instead. Keep your audio and graphics drivers up to date. In the general settings, enable Force High Performance Power Plan. Remove all unused plugins and samples. Use the correct ASIO driver associated with your audio interface. Next, adjust the buffer size. Keep in mind that the smaller, the more CPU load. The bigger, the less CPU load. When recording, disable all plugins if possible. Here are the other things to check. Latency compensation in disk recording. Make sure it is checked. Plugin delay compensation. Make sure everything is checked. Follow us for more. Here are some useful tips for using Newtone. You can import samples by clicking Pitch Correct Sample in every audio clip menu. You can drag samples and load samples through the interface as well. Right-click, drag, and press loop to highlight and loop a section. If you want to sync playback with FL, enable Slave Playback mode. Holding Shift while rolling the mouse wheel will enable you to scroll horizontally. Scrubbing through can be done by holding Alt-Control while left-clicking and dragging the mouse. You can adjust the pitch by dragging it up and down. Holding Alt while doing so will ignore the grid snapping. The same thing goes for tightening up the timing. Enable Cut mode to split blobs. Holding Alt while doing so will also ignore grid snapping. Enable Advanced Edit mode to manipulate volume, vibrato, volume ramp, and pitch ramp. These three knobs allows you to simultaneously tighten up all the pitch, vibrato, and pitch ramps. To export samples, you can either drag the selection to the playlist or click Send to Playlist. This is how you make one automation clip for 2 or more parameters in FL Studio 21. One thing I like about FL Studio's unconventional workflow is that it allows you to perform tasks beyond what is imaginable. I mean, one automation clip for multiple parameters? There are 2 ways to do it in FL Studio. First is simply by assigning parameters to an existing automation clip. Right here is an automation clip that controls the movement of fader number 1. To assign any parameter, you need to right-click the parameter and select Link to Controller. Next, you need to select the automation clip and then click OK. Just make sure you unselect Remove Conflicts to avoid eradicating the other parameters assigned to it. Second is by using the dashboard. First, drag the dashboard into the channel rack and add any controllable button. Using the Link to Controller, you can assign multiple parameters to it. You can assign as many as you intend. Now, create an automation clip. And there you go. Follow us for more. This is how you transpose all MIDI notes in FL Studio 21. If ever there's an event where you have a big project that you've been working on for quite some time and you've decided to change the transposition, instead of going through each clip or pattern in the channel rack or pattern selector to make some adjustments, what you can do is you can go to the playlist drop-down menu and enable the picker panel. Next, hold the control button on your keyboard while simultaneously clicking all the pattern clips that you intend to transpose. Right-click, hit transpose, and type in the value. Now all the notes have been transposed. Follow us for more.